It might not be worth it to y'all, but I was built for this. I was born for this. So when I see it, it's worth it to me. Every bit of it, it's worth it. You heard? It's worth it to me.
They go, how you doing? On some hallelujah. She gon' gas me up, or she gon' call her Uber. I've been staying on the move, just to get the moolah. You ain't talking big things, I ain't talking to ya. We been out in Hollywood, so can y'all act right? Yo, girl, send a brother presents in the past life. She just wanna pull up for the night and get some pad thai. I've been missing nice guy, but I ain't that nice. I've been on point like stalactites. Maybe I'm a trip, but you know I'm brother pack like. Oh, girl, went and picked the phone up last time. Now she on my line trying to tell me who I rap like. Yeah, they go, how you doing? On some hallelujah. She gon' gas me up, or she gon' call her Uber. I've been staying on the move, just to get the moolah. You ain't talking big things, I ain't talking to ya. Hey yo, if your name is Emily, this part is for you. Hey, woo! Girl, do not call this number, I got business in the work. Shawty won't be feeling perky if she in it for the perks. But I might up a couple phantom just to whip the drink to church. And I might play my own stuff, just to see you know the words, baby, study up. They say you won't want the money once you run it up. They say you won't want the fame when you see what it does. And I believe that joint, so when the money comes, maybe don't ask about it. Cause they go, how you doing? On some hallelujah. She gon' gas me up, or she gon' call her Uber. I've been staying on the move, just to get the moolah. You ain't talking big things, I ain't talking to ya.
You already know. Turn the speakers up, man, it's time to start the show. John Tanner, Ryan Righteous, DJ Jeremiah. We bringing the heat, man, it's joint be fire like bruh. We in the field, we in the field, bruh. We in the field, we in the field. Just put it in work, we raising the bar. You tuned in to the Trackstarz.
Hey, yo, stop, this your man, it's Crayola, the God Saver. Right now, you listening to the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, and Jeremiah. I see you, boy. Hold it down. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, this episode is sponsored by BlockFi.com. Okay, so check this out, guys. We just became a bank. You've heard us talk a lot about investing. BlockFi is a cryptocurrency app that allows you to become a bank. You can purchase cryptocurrency for yourself, and then you can loan it out and earn interest on it. I've already accrued interest. The Trackstarz have already accrued interest. So the way you can sign up today, you can go to BlockFi, that's blockfi.mxuy67.net/Trackstarz. And I'm going to put it on the link and also in this video, as well as repeat it again at the end of the show. So make sure that you are making the right moves to become your own bank. Go to BlockFi today and sign up. All right.
All right. So obviously we got some bad news to talk about. We just found out that Dmx Passed. There was some back and forth on exact time, but it was confirmed. How are you guys feeling? I know, for the younger generation, I would say Nipsey Hussle was a big deal when he passed. I would say this is closer to that than Nipsey Hussle. I didn't know much about Nipsey Hussle, but DMX was a big part of my childhood. Yeah. How did the news hit you guys?
Yeah, man, it hit me hard. I went down a rabbit hole yesterday, just looking at documentaries, just, reading articles and going back and listening to some of the music, man, that moved me from DMX, man. He was iconic in hip hop. He really was, especially for the East Coast. Y'all have heard me say this a lot. One of the things that put New York on the map for me was the Rough Riders anthem, right? It's just the fact that I love anthem music. And I think to this day, I still like the Rough Riders anthem over Welcome to Atlanta, which is really hard for me to say and really hard for me to admit. But the Rough Riders anthem is just crazy. I like the energy about it. But DMX was iconic. He really was. And I think that, you know, I just told Jeremiah, I think this is going to put him in conversations when you start talking about iconic figures in hip hop, right alongside Biggie and Tupac. You know, he had a movement with the Rough Riders. If you haven't watched the chronicles of the Rough Riders and how they began, it's amazing, man. I mean, it's amazing. Their grind was so original from the start to where he became like a figure for them. It was amazing, man. I think he's going to be sorely missed. You know, 50 years old is very young to pass away, especially when we see, you know, artists that are still out there rapping in our genre and have been out here since, you know, DMX days, early 90s and whatnot, still rapping. 50 is a young age to pass away from in this hip hop culture.
My daughter's not handling it well.
I know. I'm grieving with you, Noah. I'm grieving with you, Noah. It's sad. Yeah.
He was like, he made Rough Riders anthem.
This is the moment of silence, y'all. Pause for the moment of silence.
But so I actually hate hearing you say that. I hate hearing you say that. That this should make him a, you know, icon. I don't like that he has to die to be considered that. DMX was already an icon. Like he
Well, I didn't say that. I said he's iconic to me. He's always been, but I'm saying it's going to put him in the conversations of greats like Biggie and Tupac.
I'm just saying, I hate that.
They died too soon.
I hate that that's what will happen because nothing changed. Like, he was always great. Like, why does him dying all of a sudden make people pay attention? He
it's no different than when people pass away and people change their thumbnails to Michael Jackson and
I understand people memorializing him. I hate that it takes this to get people to say, "Oh, DMX was one of the," like, it shouldn't take all that.
I think we're reiterating it to a younger generation. I think we all felt that way. You know what I mean? I don't think that this is a conversation that we wouldn't have had in the past about DMX, even when, you know, when he changed his lane and started, you know, offering up more prayer and doing more Christian projects. We always had this conversation about him being iconic in hip hop.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with both of y'all saying. I feel like what Sean is saying is he was iconic to us, but I think to the senses of hip hop, what Ryan is saying is probably going to be the thing is now people going to look back and say, wow, and these, like, in his prime and his peak, he did 2 albums in 1 year and they both went multi-platinum. He did, you know, he came out with his 3rd album that was crazy with Party Up and stuff. Then he comes out with another album. Then I read today that all his albums came in at #1. Like, he hasn't had an album like in his peak, like on Def Jam Records, that didn't go #1. You know what I'm saying? And I think what DMX is one of those things where it's the duality of him that people love so much. It's one that he could be that street dude, but also the dude that's like about God as well. Mm-hmm. So I think the duality of him was like, I think he was one of the first in the mainstream that I can think of that was like talking about Jesus Christ. Like, it wasn't like God or Allah or I'm God or all this other stuff. It was just Lord Jesus. Like, and it wasn't like, you know what I mean? So, and I just read a comment earlier about Common. When Common said, you taught hip hop how to pray. That's significant. Like, that's a significant statement to say, you know what I mean? And I think street dudes related to DMX because it's that story. It's that story of trauma. It's that story of abuse. It's that story of growing up and feeling like you have nothing. So you got to get something to feel like you have something. You know what I mean? And I feel like he spoke for them. You know what I mean? If somebody's like, man, I don't even want to check out his music, but I want to know more about him. There's something on YouTube called Behind the Music DMX. And he talks about everything in there. He talks about how he first got high. How he was smoking weed and somebody laced a good friend of his laced the blunt with crack, and how he became addicted to drugs like that. Mm-hmm. He talks about his mother abandoning him, taking him to a group home and just saying, hey, just where you living at now. She's being very abusive to him as well. Age of 7. So he has trauma. So that's why his music was like emo music for our generation. And what I'll say that meaning like Slippin' is one of my favorite songs from DMX. Mm-hmm. And it's just like his testimony and also him just speaking to to the society at large. I mean, honestly, he spoke to, I would say, Generation X, which is my older, like my sister's generation, and our generation, young, older millennials. Because at that time, if you look at music, at that time, just music in general, a lot of music at that time was depressed music. Like, I mean, if you come off from the Seattle sound of the switch of rock, and this is interesting, I'm just thinking about it now, the switch of rock music going from hair bands that's talking about party, we getting girls, all this other stuff, to like, I'm depressed, I don't know how to deal with my feelings, with Pearl Jam and with Nirvana. And then you go to think about hip hop with Bad Boy. If Bad Boy's throwing up the party, we having fun, we making money, we getting girls, we living the life. And then DMX comes and he's talking that street talk, but he's also talking the duality of good and evil. Like, how do you deal with your past sins? How you deal with your current sins? How you deal with your demons? We ain't really hear that much. And I mean, the closest to that to me was Ghetto Boys with My Mom's Playing Tricks on You. But a whole project of like from the East Coast was a rarity. Like, a lot of people really, and I could be wrong, but I'm not growing up in the East Coast, I don't remember a lot of people really talking about that. I've always heard people, the effects of the ghetto, the effects of the hood on people and how it affects them. But like, he was talking about his demons and how he's dealing with his demons and the demons that constantly attack him and constantly is he's fighting against, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that was different. So when we heard that, it was just like, wow, this guy is different, you know?
And I'll say this too, man. He was a good actor too, you know?
Yeah.
One of the things I'll say about DMX is that it never looked like he sold out. You know, he stayed authentic to himself, even in his music. I remember when he was talked about in the documentary how people didn't like his first single. You know, how Rough House dropped him after his first single didn't do well. Yeah. And he was like, well, that was my life. That's my story. And he came out with another song that was just as edgy, that was about his life. And even when you get to his party songs, like Y'all Gonna Make Me Lose My Mind Up in Here, like that's a party anthem, right? Everybody always played that at the clubs when I was in college and working in radio. But he always talked about Y'all Gonna Make Me Lose My Mind Up in Here, Y'all Gonna Make Me Act a Fool. It was like always DMX. The funniest thing I remember him doing from his early days was he used to rob people with the pit bulls. And he would say, like, you know, he would take the gun out of somebody else's hand if he was like in a fight, like because the pit bull was that more fierce. And so that's when he became, you know, he had a love for dogs at an early age, and he kind of transformed, I guess, in my mind, the fear of the pit bull, because I remember them as kids, but it wasn't until I saw them in music videos and, you know, DMX talking about them and barking on tracks that I was like, yo, these dogs are really scary, or can be scary. So he was so many different things to hip hop. And I think that what I want to clarify is I don't think that we're talking about him being an icon all of a sudden. I think we're telling younger generations he was an icon for our time frame of music. And now you can go back and look at his catalog and see how fantastic he really was. You know, all his songs are like a storybook that he's telling of his life, and you just get a different chapter with each song.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was the best artist on Rough Riders.
Oh yeah, by far.
He was the best artist amongst a lot of those guys that in that era. He was doing Eminem numbers back then. Like this he was the guy. I don't think people, if you're too young, you may think, oh, DMX was one of the rappers that we grew up with. No, like he was the guy for a long time. Yeah. So just to put it in perspective, like this, he was at the top of the mountain selling the most records. This was the dude. So his story is a great story. It's a real story. It's not sugar coated. It's not whitewashed. It's not what, you know, a lot of us as Christian artists and media people try to make sure we paint the rosiest picture of ourselves to give people hope that your life could be better. But in a sense, you're kind of hiding the truth from them in a way. He never did that. Like, he was honest about all of that. But him being honest about that made his prayers much more impactful, because you knew if he meant what he said about this, he means what he says about that. If he said he's
Yeah.
gonna bust you in the head, he's gonna. He really means that Jesus is his Lord and Savior. Like, so I think people wrestling with that Solomon, that David, that these people that in the Bible that were really bad and really good, you know, and you may be tempted to categorize him as one thing or another, depending based on his lyrics or his lifestyle. But this is a person who loved God, like really, really loved God. And if that matters to you, that he believed in Jesus, that he loved him, that he really cared, like he understood what the Bible was about. If that's valuable to you, that means that he's saved. And this is your brother that just passed away, right? This is not just some rapper. Like, this is our brother that just passed away. So that's what I think people need to understand about him. He was the most famous rapper, but he was also one of the most passionate Christians that we've seen in the industry. Yeah,
and I would say this too. I think he like, it's been so many times. You see the stories of different people talking about him now, but different stories of like people saying that he was grateful for what God did, but he was like, he still questioned why God gave him what he gave him. Like when he started getting popular and getting the shows and people started coming to see him and loving on X and everything like that. He was just like, he felt grateful, but he didn't feel grateful. Like, God, why are you doing this? Why? Like breaking down, crying and stuff like that. And this is like early on. This is like, it's dark and hell is hot. You know what I mean? Era. And I think he always felt like I'm not worthy of what you're giving me of the stuff because of my past. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of what Ryan was saying on the documentary about the Rough Riders Chronicles. It's stuff in the past, man, and he was doing to people, of sticking people up, robbing them, and all this other stuff that he probably felt once God started giving him opportunity, opening doors. He probably felt like, man, I'm not grateful for this. I just used to knock off all these people. Now they're cheering me. Like, why, God? Like, why would you like? And sometimes I think even as people, we question those things. When if you feel not ungrateful but unworthy about something, and you don't understand, like, God, man, I messed up. I'm the biggest sinner of all these people. But why? Like, why are you doing this? Why are these people loving me, or like not even accepting love from people? You know what I mean? He's just an interesting person to study, man. Like, if you study his lyrical content and you study him as a person, you would be like, oh man, he was out there, but he loved God. He really like God. He really talked about the Lord, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's an interesting time, man. I hope, and I thought about this yesterday. I was like, I wonder if God used this so the younger generation could hear about him. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And like, because sooner or later, if you like his album, like It's Dark and Hell is Hot, was like selling again, like now. And it's like, you're going to hear about the Lord. You're going to hear about God. You're going to hear his life. You're going to hear DMX life. But at the end, you're going to hear about prayer. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to hear a song like Slipping. You're going to hear, Lord, give me a sign. You're going to hear, I'm ready to meet him. You know what I mean? So this also just reminds me to make sure as Christians, we have grace for the people who sincerely love Jesus, but their life may not be what we would imagine as a Christian to be yet. Facts. Because it's easy to do it when they're gone because there's nothing else to add to the story on this earth. Yeah. So you can easily say, oh yeah, you know, he loved God and blah, blah, blah. But when you're scared about the next music video they're going to release, or you're scared about what they're going to say next, what brings to mind is like a Chance the Rapper who may not look as a Christian like what we would want somebody to be doing on a daily basis, but he loves God. Like it's not like he's pretending to do that. There's no reason for him to, right? So we just really got to pray for those people, because you don't want the things that they're battling to win. And I don't know what happened with DMX. Could have been natural, could have been there's conspiracy theories and stuff, but I don't want to attribute his demons to what happened to him recently, but you got to pray for these people, because they're in a position that a lot of us never are going to be in, with all the attention, all the money, anything they want at their fingertips. You can't assume that you would be better than them. You have no idea.
You have no idea. So pray for them because they have a limelight on them, but they love God. So just pray that wins, and they can defeat some of those demons. So, all right. Yeah. So go ahead, Ryan.
And the last thing I say too, we lost a good one, man, but he had 15 children. So y'all say a prayer for his family because that's really tough. I mean, 50 years old, he was, he had young kids as well as old kids. He even had grandchildren. So, just make sure you say a prayer for the family because that's really tough.
Yeah, and I'll say this real quick. There's different clips going around, of course, of him praying, of him talking to people. But I think the most powerful clip I saw so far was with him and his daughter. And they had this ride, and this ride goes up. And it's like a slingshot ride. If you ever know, like, I guess Orlando or whatever, and they had this ride that is like a big slingshot and it just throw you up in the air. And she started like panicking. And she wasn't sounding like she wasn't crying, but she was just like scared. And he just kept like, "Daddy's got you, Daddy's got you, Daddy's got." And it was just like, that's like a message in itself. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just so unreal about that. And it's just like his life preached that, man. Like I think that's the thing about us as believers is the duality. Like I think people don't know, like everybody don't know us. We just know what they know of us, like what we present. They don't know us like personally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think until our books get open and people are like, wow, they dealt with that. You know what I mean? People can't really, they always speak on something because you see it outwardly, like kind of like Sean was saying earlier. Yeah. And instead of praying for somebody, you know what I mean? But I think his impact is being felt I think his impact for our generation is there, but I think this younger generation is about to feel his impact again.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Prayer for. Let us pray. Father God, I'm just learning how to pray. Bear with me. First, I thank you for the life of everyone that's here with me. Then I thank you for the love you give me. Why? I don't know. I don't deserve it. It hurts inside. Many a nights I cried, called your name out loud, but didn't call you when I was doing good, too proud. And still you gave me love. I wasn't used to that. Because most of the people that gave me love ended up taking it back. It's something new to me, so I'm begging you for time to adjust. Let me make it there. I will be one you can trust. What I stand for, I put my life on. I do. I guess what I'm asking is, show me how to stand for you. And I will rap for you, sing for you, preach for you, reach for you, teach for you. I will love you like you love me, unconditionally. And I will always be prepared for whatever the mission will be. Give the nutrition to me, and I'll properly digest it. And when I give it back, I will show you word well invested. And whenever I go, before I go, let me give thanks to you, Lord, for my birth, for every day that I've lived. You gave me a love most of my life I didn't know was there. In the name of Jesus, I give you my life because you care.
What's going on, family? Hey, look, if you're an artist out there, I know how hard it can be. I'm an artist as well. And whenever you release a song you think is dope, you're like, man, this is going to be the one. You have to go through the process of marketing. That's the hard part. That's when it really, really, really gets serious, right? Because even if you got a dope song and nobody knows about it, it's going to be a flop. So if you know the process, that means you got to go to each website, follow their submission rules, email them, do whatever they need you to do one at a time. These outlets do not like to be spammed. They do not like to be put on BCC lists, email spam lists. But never fear, we have come up with a way to solve this problem. We created something called the Single Maximizer. Single Maximizer allows you to fill in the details for your song one time, and we customize it for each outlet and send it out to all of them for you. Not in a mass email, not as spam, individual emails customized exactly what they asked for in their music submission guidelines. It's an amazing tool. We use it for ourselves and our own music, and we're trying to share it with you guys. So go to trackstarz.com/single maximizer. Take advantage of it right now. It's an amazing tool. Check it out. Let us know your success stories. Tell us what works. Trackstarz.com. Go check it out right now. What's going on, Trackstarz family? We have just started something brand new called the Trackstarz Investment Group. And we are really excited and determined to make sure that we help creatives, artists, entrepreneurs become financially independent. One of those ways is our new sponsor, Webull. Webull. Webull is an investment app that you can download right now for free. The awesome part about it is Webull doesn't spend any money on advertising. They do it all through network marketing, word of mouth, right? So what they do as an incentive is they'll give you a free stock when you sign up. So absolutely no money involved. You download the app, you get a free stock. When you put money into your account, you get a free stock. When you share it with your friends, you get a free stock. So it's an awesome opportunity if you have no money and you want to build up some income really quickly, you lost your job because of coronavirus or whatever. Jump on this Webull app, go to trackstarz.com/Webull, Webull, and sign up right now. It helps us, it helps you. It's an amazing opportunity. Join it right now.
Man, I know this man ain't finna go up the street and get the garbage from these dudes. Yeah, you come in. Come in, bro. Come in. Son, I want you to try.
Word, it's no counterfeit, we out in it. Asking for fillers and God buys, yo, we out of it. No need to lock the barricade. We surrounded it, you shake the ground a bit. We know you scared from the sound of it. The pen strapped in my saddlebag with plenty raps. You ask how many balls, well let me check what the semi has. Nah, it's just a metaphor, I'm just messing, y'all. Trying to wean you off the bad substance like methadone. It's a few milligrams, 16 will get you off. No need to check the cost, it's on me, so it's not a loss. Can always re-up with my supplier. Just one of many buyers, not quiet, so anyone can find them. I'm just serving this product, the block is my assignment. Got the fixing time and breaking bondage from your mind's confinement. I'm reminded of a time when I wasn't the one enlightened. Now I'm off topic, just checking if you wanna try it.
Bro, I know you wasn't going up the street. Man, they got that garbage, bro. But this right here, this is how you ain't coming down from. This that good work, bro. Go ahead. Yeah, try it. Yeah, Menace Kang, we up in this thing. To witness to the sinner sitting in his pain. Spitting for the quitter, living in disdain. Sipping on his liquor, finna stick his vein with a syringe. Or try some meth, pills of weed. Hoping to escape reality, could just fulfill a need. Allow me to make this small point, but this small point is potent. It's like the sting of a killer bee. Dog, why would you willingly continue this cycle? It is temporary, cause the feeling flees and you feel deceived. See what we're pushing will indeed heal disease and deliver you from your slavery. You'll be feeling free. Listen, homie, don't be a ding-dong. You hear these artists glorify drug abuse when they sing songs. But don't take the path these stars trek like a Klingon, cause they end up with monkeys on their backs bigger than King Kong. Why waste another minute of your lives? The world is always claiming that the limit is the sky. Well, I am here to tell you, just forget it, it's a lie. Jesus is the rock we're pitching, ain't no limit to this high. It is grace, mercy, and forgiveness he provides. We are all guilty, but we can be acquitted in his eyes. You can bring your pain and just submit it on to God. He will bear your heavy burdens, you can kiss it all goodbye. That's that good work. Yo, don't fall out now. See, I told you, bro. I told you ain't ever gotta go up the street to get that garbage again, bro. I got you, bro. This that good work. This a high you ain't never coming down from, bro. You set for life, bro. And that was free of charge. Free 99, good brother. Go ahead, man. Go on your way. Be blessed. We got you. Make sure you tell your friends to come see you. Cause we got that good work. You feel me? Menace Kang.
yeah. Back up on the road, yeah. Tryna stack up on my own, yeah. You just cap up on my phone, yeah. Yeah, act up, I've been prone to burn. Somebody drive me home, yeah. Tears just fill this bottle as I empty it alone, back up on the road, yeah. Tryna stack up on my own, yeah. Rather be dripping in hope than to be dripping in gold. Taught me to speak on my actions, I took them full to the boat. Still feel like I've been so restless. Can't talk to me, I've been pessimist. Feel for your lies and it ruined my brain. Mama told me to quit stressing this. Play my cards right, it'll pay off. Came up strong in the wrong time, I was laid off. Worked so hard for a long time, didn't sway off. Praise my God who gives peace to the chaos. Back up on the road, yeah. Tryna stack up on my own, yeah. You just cap up on my phone, yeah. Yeah, act up, I've been prone to burn. Somebody drive me home, yeah. Tears just fill this bottle as I empty it alone, back up on the road, yeah. Tryna stack up on my own, yeah. Lost me down the road, don't you save me. Someone drop me home, I'm on the south side, baby. You ain't even call, who's the one here that's been lazy? Never come up short just to amaze me, you crazy. Y'all been the reason I've been doing this. Looking like Judas is. I know how rude this is. I've been so through with this. Y'all just ruin this. And y'all just talk a lot. Don't know how true it is. Back up on the road, yeah. Tryna stack up on my own, yeah. You just cap up on my phone, yeah. Yeah, backed up, I've been prone to burn. Somebody drive me home, yeah. Tears just fill this bottle as I empty it alone, back up on the road, yeah. Tryna stack up on my own, yeah.
What's up? This is No Big Deal representing Middle Tennessee and Indie Tribe. You are now in the field with the Trackstarz.
It's time for the Entertainment Report with Jeremiah.
All right, man, it's Entertainment Report time. Let's get it going. Of course, we talked about DMX earlier, man. Was admitted to the hospital. He lost his life. He was 50 years old. There were reports saying that he had a heart attack, may have been triggered by possibly an overdose. We don't know. We have different stories, like Sean said earlier. He never shied away from his faith. For people, like I saw some people in the comments saying like they didn't really know much about him. He talked that street talk. I'll say this: if you go check him out, he is going to talk that street talk, heavy street talk. But he did have records like speak about his faith with his prayers. Each album always ended with a prayer. But then he also had records like Lord Give Me a Sign, Ready to Meet Him, and some other records as well. He will be, I believe he was married. He'd be survived by his 15 children. He died with his family by his side. They haven't announced the memorial service. I'm sure it's probably going to be in Yonkers. Right now, he's like Rough Riders Anthem is #1 on iTunes right now.
Gotta be.
And I saw it. It's Dark and Hell is Hot, Flesh in My Flesh, and his other albums rising up as well. So, yeah, man, to the young generation out there, you're about to experience what we experienced when we were teenagers. So, yeah, man, God rest his soul, man. All right, CHH artists are doing very well on TikTok, man. A lot of artists are doing well. Wande, Paul Russell, Caleb Gordon, of course, Lecrae and Andy, and a few more, man, gaining momentum. So if you're an artist out there and you got that upbeat record, please try to get your stuff on TikTok. I think Sean talked about this years ago, that TikTok will be great for CHH, and it's looking like it is. So if you're a rapper out there and you're trying to get your stuff broken, try to put your stuff out there on all these platforms. All right, Sho Baraka dropped the news that he's releasing a book in May of 2021. It's entitled He Saw That It Was Good, with the subtitle of Reimagine Your Creative Life to Repair a Broken World. There wasn't much information except that it will be published through Penguin Publishing House in Waterbrook and Multnomah. Well, now the book will be arriving on May 16th. So shout out to Sho Baraka, man. It's a good look. I'm sure he's written other books as well. So yeah. Oh man, big thing happened while we was gone. Is a song out called Trackstarz right now, right? And it's by a guy named Mooski. He was on the Breakfast Club, and he talked about him growing up in the church, and he was a big into gospel rap. He loved gospel rap. Charlamagne asked him like, "Yo, so do you remember any of your gospel rap name?" And he asked him. He said, "I was a big fan of Trip Lee." He's like, "My rap name was Trip Lee Jr." And or something like that. And then Charlamagne was like, "Who is Trip Lee?" Like everybody in the room was like, "We know Lecrae," blah blah blah. And he was like, "Nah, he a Christian rapper. And he's really good." And then also Mooski spoke about his background, saying like he was in the choir, him being in church, and all that other stuff, and doing gospel rap first. So, man, we actually did Mooski Trackstarz React video, which will be out soon. So be on the lookout for that. And comment section this week, man. Mitch Durrell, Rap Should Be Fun, Volume 1 pre-order bumps Inf. The Chaos is Beautiful pre-order. Propaganda, Terraform the People. Hovey, Christopher. Mikey J, Young Underdog. 1K Famo, Christian single. Mikey T's and 1K Few, Out of My System single. Brian T, Trust single. Stephen Malcolm, Glory on Me single. SO, Prosper single. Miles Minnick and Wande got a banger with Yee single. Chris Elijah, Through the Fire single. And the newest member of Menace Movement, Cephas, and Dayton got a song called Stop Us single. And that is it for me. Ryan, you got anything, bro?
Yeah, I just want to shout out to the 1K Famo. They are nominated for a Stellar Award for a music video they shot, as well as 1K Few nominated for New Artist of the Year, Album of the Year. And then shout out to MC Nice, GH3 Radio, everybody who's nominated under that umbrella. And then MC Nice as an artist, man, some dope stuff. He's going to be in town this week, so we're looking forward to seeing you, MC, and chopping it up with you. So thank you so much for all that you've done to support Trackstarz. We wish you well. Big ups to you, and you got our support forever. All right?
All right, so we listened to you guys, and we started doing reaction videos like Jeremiah said. They're actually doing pretty well, so let us know what you want us to react to. Actually, comment if you're watching live or you're watching this in the future somehow. Comment and let us know what you want us to react to, because whatever y'all say, we stick it in there. We don't even know what's coming up next. We just, boom, pop it in, react, and it's been dope. It's fun. I actually listen to more music doing the reaction videos than I do in my regular life. So yeah, so comment below now what you want us to react to. It doesn't have to only be music videos. It could be songs without videos. It could be just stuff that happens in the culture, trailers for movies, whatever. Let us know what you want us to react to, and we'll just throw it in there. All right, let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Wake up, go early, 5:45. I hit my leaders to give me a fix. I'm in his presence, no time is on essence. Don't need me no questions, I need me this gift. I'm stepping on faith, I'm not taking no risk. Time is on essence, now look at my wrist. I'm in my prime, I'm doing fine. You look surprised, I'm doing like this. Hold up, hey, my step up game, that's too much. My shot go switch, that's too clutch. Demons on the go, I'm too much. Top my flow, I'm screwed up, yeah. Check my bag, I'm too much. It's my time like who up. Demons on the go, I'm too much. It's my time like who up, yeah. Living the pistol, I blow me the whistle, man, look at my life. It's on display. I ain't got time to be wasting this crash. I be chasing some of you just in the way. All of that fussing in me, it means nothing. I'm pressing my buttons, the time and the place. Might go a zombie and tell them can't find me, and when they can't find me, put that in it. Pull up like David do, dance to your face. I'm not a cap, it's business safe. This not a play, I just play in my place. God has been good, so the talk is on grace. That's all up on you if you cannot relate. Pressure is coming, you cannot escape. All of my bros, we on the wave, looking for souls to get them go early, 5:45. I hit my needles to give me a fix. I'm in his presence, no time is on essence. Don't need me no questions, I need me this gift. I step it on faith, I'm not taking no risk. Time is on essence, now look at my wrist. I'm in my prime, I'm doing fine. You look surprised, I'm doing like this. Hold up, hey, my step up game, that's too much. My shot goes switch, that's too clutch. Demons on the go, I'm too much. Top my flow, I'm screwed up. Yeah, check my bag, I'm too much. It's my time like who Demons on the go, I'm too much. It's my time like who yeah.
I see a lot of division, the hoes in the system aligning in plain view. They feeling more with deception and effort to blind the public from the real truth. Truth be told, I'm feeling bold. Ironical quote exposing principles. The harvest is plentiful, reaping souls.
As long as I'm breathing, you know I'm on go.
Going back now will be foul. Don't face down, see my smile, I shine, illuminate. Yeah, we go against the grain, man. We got a master plan, man. Too much to lose, too much to gain. Nothing to prove, too much to change. How can I live like the same? Far from the norm like my
Wake
name.
up go early, 5:45. I hit my needles to give me a fix. I'm in his presence, no time is on essence. Don't need me no questions, I need me this gift. I step it on faith, I'm not taking no risk.
What would you do if the hot girls link was really stolen girls or missing daughters? Would you still want her? If your mama's face was flashing in the margin while you surfed the internet hoping to get hot and bothered, it might be easier to see that what's happening isn't free. It's the closest thing to the slave trade that built this country. In both instances, there was a life that existed before, where people walked confidently and held communal identities, where skirmishes were settled by knowing what to ask in exchange for disagreements was a knowing glance, and the hardest things to manage were the chosen relationship tasks. But it's different now, because last night she walked up and down the block till daylight. See, Mondays are forced film days. Tuesday, exotic dancing down at Ray's. By Wednesday, it's all she can do to bid her sanity stay. And last night, the guy who paid top dollar was a corporate exec by day at a nonprofit that claims that it's the children they save. After a long day of being consumed with his own lust and not realizing that the very people he objectifies are being victimized. I thought don't ask, don't tell was a marginalizing military policy, but apparently it plays out daily in the lives of his daughter and her mommy, because if she looks a certain way and behaves however the media portrays, and her dress sways when the wind blows, it must be that she is of age to do whatever he says, and with a pimp like Perez, it's easy to see why she stays. It's an invisible cycle, because nobody's monitoring his Facebook chronicles or the section he has that makes it easy to anonymously say, "Give me that one," or "I'll take little Shay." All it takes is one click, 1 minute for the transaction to take place before she vanishes without a trace, with a man who's old enough to be her daddy, and she becomes confused as to who's supposed to protect her if the mean man forces her to address him with the same title. It seems this sick trade is becoming a modern-day American Idol. What would you do if the hot girls link was really stolen girls or missing daughters? Would you still want her? If it was your sister who was headlining down at your favorite strip club, and while your friends were making it rain, she was writhing in pain, hoping her wig wasn't so good of a disguise that you couldn't recognize her and rescue her from the guys who stole her from cheerleading practice the week before. Her whole body's sore, and there's a hole in her heart the size of Dante's unpaid rent, and she's the check. Better yet, the human down payment on his economic stimulus plan. See, there's a lot of demand for adolescence and innocence. I just wonder where justice fits into this. What would you do if the hot girls link was really stolen girls or missing daughters, would you still want her? If you stumbled across a page where the girls were categorized by elementary school grade rather than racial group or anatomy size, would you still see it the same way? All I'm asking is that you surf with a new lens. Make people human again. That's somebody's relative. Abuse isn't comparative. It's as if the whole world has been given a sedative and we're just beginning to come out of the trance. Like Nikki Giovanni says, know who's playing the music before you dance. This isn't a game or an entertaining piece. Please be aware of what you're doing. Don't just look casually. Really see that the temptation you think you're fighting could be using someone who's related to you or to me. Now, what would you do if the hot girls link was really stolen girls or missing daughters? Would you still want her?
You are listening to the Trackstarz with Sean Tanner, Ryan Righteous, and DJ Jeremiah.
Right now you're in the field with the Trackstarz.
Trackstarz.
Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah.
Right now you're listening to the Trackstarz.
You know what time it is.
Hey yo, what's good? It's your boy Name Gate, you Trackstarz music artist, and you are in the field with the family Trackstarz Radio.
Trackstarz Radio.
We got it in the field. Trackstarz. Get it, got it, good.
Ain't no podcast beef. We got respect for y'all.
Yeah.
But respect the grind, baby. Respect the grind. I gotta go get the flex bombs today. Respect the grind.
Hey, what's going on? You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. What's good?
All right, for all things Trackstarz, make sure you go to trackstarzwithaz.com. Follow us on Instagram at Trackstarz, Twitter at Trackstarz. Like the Facebook page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and download the app, all right? So we have a special guest in the building, and I am so nervous about introducing this guest because this guest has been instrumental in our lives as the Trackstarz, as we have come into radio, as we've come into music and media, and it has just been an honor to have her sit down with us. We got Marsha Meadows from, I can't even call you, I can just call you a music and media mogul. You have been a mentor of ours for a very long time. It goes as far back as when we were interning at Radio 1. And I don't know if you remember this, but I was very eager to get on air. And in the Atlanta market, you know, you don't really get that opportunity because a lot of radio personalities start off in small markets and then they get brought into the bigger markets. Right. But I just wanted to learn something. And I remember coming to you and asking you to show me anything you could. And you asked me to sacrifice some time, come up to the radio station at night, and you would show me how to run the boards.
Right.
And you did that for me. And I was an intern at Radio 1 for about 6 to 8 months before I was offered a part-time position in the sales department. But I worked under you in the in the promotions department. And you did so many things instrumental in my life that I have to publicly thank you for. I can't say it enough.
Wow. That means so much.
Yes, and I don't remember if you were, I don't know if you remember, you gave me a very special going away / graduation from college gift where you allowed me to go on the Radio 1 cruises with you. And we started the Radio 1 One Love cruise. And I was on the very first one. And then you took me on the next one and the next one. And I got to meet Kathy Hughes for the first time. I got to meet Jeff Majors. I got to meet Kurt Franklin and so many people that inspired us to want to do radio as well. So here you are. I cannot say enough about your resume. So just start from the beginning, because I know that you have a very unique story about who you are and how you got to where you are right now.
Right. So first of all, I'm a small town country girl from Albany, Georgia. And I was telling someone the other day, I always had dreams of being on the radio. So as a child, I have a picture of my brother and I sitting in front of a radio. I mean, we were like 5 and maybe 7 years old, and we had the headphones on, and I would listen to the radio growing up, and I was always recording the DJs on the radio, trying to sound like them, trying to be like them. So that was instilled in me at a very young age. So I always had a love for radio. So when I moved to Atlanta to go to school at Georgia State, there was a young man there named Chris Bridges, who we affectionately know as Ludacris. And he and I were friends. And at that time, Hot 97.5 had just started. So I was like, oh man, Chris, I hear you, interning at that radio, the new radio station. Can you get me an internship? And he was like, yeah, let me check it out. And then he came back, he said, I got you the internship. I was like, what? So that's where the whole story begins. And also Lala Anthony was an intern. It was me, Chris, Shaka Zulu, who's his manager, and Lala. We were all there together. It started out, and Lala was still in high school. But when I was intern, I was learning every department. I think I told you to learn every department so that you'd have a better chance of getting a position, and then you move your way up. So after my internship, when I graduated from college, they loved what I was doing so much, they created a position for me out of college called Special Events Coordinator. And from there, I was doing all of the like small events like high schools and those, small concerts that we would do in the community. And then how I got on the radio is a funny story. So this was probably like the last year of Freaknik. It was probably like the last hoorah.
Atlanta OG.
Right. It was the last hoorah of Freaknik, right? And so the MTV had this stage on Auburn Avenue, like kind of where the park is at the end. What's the name of that park? Right there, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
The bridge.
Yep.
Yeah. So they had a big stage, right? But the traffic at Freaknik was so stupid, no one could get to the stage. But as intern, I was already at the stage, right? But none of the personalities like Chris and Poon and all the other personalities couldn't make to the stage because of the traffic. So Mary Catherine Sneed, she was like, you're going to have to go on stage and host. I was like, we'll say what now? Mary Catherine say what? I got to go on stage. I've never done it before. So MTV was filming. I went on stage. I hosted, got the crowd hype, introduced the artists and everything. And she was like, after that, she's like, oh my God, you did such a great job. I'm going to give you a night show. I was like, my first shift was the 2 to 6 a.m. the overnight. So she was testing me out. And I was trying to come up with the name. And my name was, I thought my name was going to be Shawty Red. My name was going to be Shawty Red. So look, so I went to Ryan Cameron. I said, Ryan, because I was also Ryan's assistant at the time. I said, Ryan, what do you think about the name Shawty Red? He's like, girl, no, you are not going to be Shawty Red. He said, your name should be Eminem because your name is Marsha Meadows. So I was like, oh. He was like, yeah, the sweetest thing on your radio. I was like, oh,
wow,
I like that.
Never knew who helped you come up with that.
That's dope.
Yeah,
That's
so
an
Ryan
interesting
helped me
story.
come up with that. Because otherwise I was about to be shorty red on y'all.
You was ahead of your time.
Anyway, so, huh?
I said you was ahead of your time because Shorty Red ended up being the producer of a lot of trap music. But yeah, so
Right.
you was ahead of your time.
So yeah, so I was working in the office during the day and doing my radio show at night. So I would work at 9 to 5, go get a nap, and then come back and do my radio show. And then I was promoted to music director, to programming assistant, and then eventually promotions director. And ironically, I was in charge of the same internship program that I started in. I became the head of it. And a lot of interns came through that worked, came through the program that I was managing, like E.T., Shanika, whole lot of personalities. DJ Holiday. Yeah, it's
Bistro.
The list, huh?
Bistro was an intern at one
Yeah,
time.
it's a whole lot. I mean, so many people come to me like, I was your intern. It's like, you were. He's like, and thank you. I'm in the music industry. I'm doing this. I was just like, wow, that means so much to me that I was able to have that impact in people's lives. And so eventually, I was doing planning birthday bash every year. And then Mary Catherine was promoted to COO of the company. And she needed an executive assistant. So she was like, would you, become my executive assistant? I was like, sure. So she and I were the only two people out of corporate in Atlanta. So we had our own office built in a separate area of the building. And eventually she was like, you know what? We have 60 stations in 20 markets. We need someone to oversee all the marketing efforts. She's like, would you like to be VP of marketing? I was like, oh yeah, I would love to be VP of marketing. But here's the kicker. Again, that position did not exist before me. She created the position for me. And so as VP of marketing, I oversaw like 60 stations in 20 markets. So I was traveling, going to all the cities, all of our markets, helping them streamline their marketing efforts, and streamlining our marketing efforts across the country. And this is when we began to do national promotions. So I would do national promotions with the record labels, national contesting, and national events. So a couple of those events are Spring Fest that we used to do in Jamaica and Miami. Which was huge. Ryan, did you ever come to Spring Fest with me?
No, I didn't. I just went to the Bahamas and Cozumel.
Okay. Okay. And then another one was the One Love Gospel Cruise, which I created, which started out small, but it grew to be a big promotion for Radio One. And also the Dirty Awards, which was an award show that we used to do it was just for Southern artists. And we brainstormed and we came up with the concept, and I planned it. I think we did it for like 3 or 4 years. And the award, if you remember, the award was a pimp cup.
It was.
Yeah. So and then what else we did? We did the Russ Parr bus tour. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Russ Parr, but for back to school, we were rent out a big RV and wrap it with a tour bus and wrap it with Russ, and we tour all of his markets for back to school. So I was very busy as VP of marketing.
Well, Marsha, I don't think people realize how influential you were for urban radio. Not just the careers that you helped make, but also the different people that you have managed over time and have brought up. And what you're doing right now has just been so phenomenal. Can you talk a little bit about, the people that you've managed? Because we have artists that listen to our show and listen to the podcast, and they're wondering how you do it from start to finish. And you've walked someone through an entire career, and you've had success on major levels. Can you talk about those artists and how you help break them?
Well, at Radio One, one of my primary responsibilities was to work with the record labels to promote their new artists when they were coming out. So I would come up with campaigns nationwide across the all of our radio stations to do promotions for new artists. So If a new song came out, you know, I was out there promoting it. So like either Chris Brown when he first came out, Trey Songz, Sierra, a lot of them I would put on that Russ Parr bus tour when they were new artists, and they would go around the country to get familiar with our audience. So it's so many, oh my goodness. But I never really managed them, but I would come up with campaigns when they first came out. The record labels, I would do visits up to New York all the time and go visit all the labels. And they would always let me listen to the new songs from the new artists. Like I would hear Chris Brown stuff before it came out, or Trey Songz stuff before it came out. And it's like, which one do you think is a single? I'm like, Run It is a single for Chris Brown. Y'all need to run that. Like, yeah. So and then I remember, one time I was in Miami doing a scouting visit for Springfest, and I went to a nightclub and I heard Rick Ross Hustling for the first time. You know, every day I'm hustling. And the club went crazy. I was like, oh my God, what is this record? Who is that? So I went up to the DJ booth. I'm like, look, I need to know, who is this artist? What is this song? And I need a copy of it, like right now. And so got a copy of it. And then I sent it out to all of the program directors. I'm like, this song is fire. And when we did Springfest, I was like, we got to put Rick Ross on Springfest because it was in Miami, you know, so he was just coming out. So it's like little stories like that, you know,
that's huge.
That they don't know, you know, that I was involved in some of their promotion early on. But it's countless artists like that. But when I left Radio One, I kind of went into, and I'll just be a little transparent, because Radio One, I was single, no kids. I was married to that job. You hear me? Like, that was my life. I woke up in the morning and for years, do 9 to 5, go home, take a nap, go back and do my radio show. And that went on for maybe 8 to 10 years like that. You know, so I was dedicated and married to that job. So when I left and I resigned, I went into a deep depression. Because it was like my identity had been stripped away from me. You know what I mean? Because I identified myself so much with that. And then, you know, so many people that I've helped along the way, or people, I could pick up the phone and call a lot of people and get them on the phone when I was at Radio One, or I could get to them and touch them real easy. And when I left Radio One, I didn't have that access anymore. Like, people would not pick up my calls, would not return my calls. And it made me realize that people were, as long as you're able to do something for them, or you're in a position to do something for them, you know, these are people that I really thought were my friends. You know what I mean? And when I wasn't in position anymore, I didn't have the access. So I was just like, oh, that sent me into a whole nother depression. You know what I mean? So I had to build myself back up and affirm myself. And I started doing affirmations, and I started going within, you know, and realizing the power that I have and the ability that I have to make things happen when I put my mind to something, or I speak life into something, or if I concentrate on something real hard and that's my focus, I always manifest it. And I had to realize that I lost sight of that. You know what I mean? Because my identity had been taken, and I thought that was who I was. So I had to come into realization of who I was as a creator and as a child of God, to go out and reinvent myself and still make things happen. So then Kenton Jones called me. So, because he had heard about it, and Kenton and I were good friends, and I had put him on One Love. He was on all the One Love gospel cruises. You know, whenever I called Kenton, I even put Kenton on Birthday Bash one year. Remember that year that Kenton opened up Birthday Bash? And I was like, we're going to set the atmosphere. And I took him to Springfest too. He opened up Springfest in Miami. I was like, although we finna do this hip hop, I'm finna give y'all some gospel hip hop to start it off right. You know what I mean?
And he always killed it. And it's hard for artists that people don't know to kill Birthday Bash. Like, I've seen, I don't want to mention who, it'll be embarrassing.
Came up with that. There's no other name other than you.
They
password
killed it.
What?
I've seen artists. I've seen famous artists bomb at Birthday Bash, and he killed it.
So, you know, Kenton, he remembered everything, you know, that I did for him in that Radio 1 arena. And he called, he's like, okay, so what's your next move? What you doing? I was like, I really don't know. Trying to figure it out. And he was like, well, come on over here. I need you to manage me. I was like, oh, okay. So it was just that easy. He came over because I had a good relationship with his wife. You know, she was managing and, you know, helping him out too. And so she's like, yeah, come on over. We need your help. Come on. We're going to make this thing pop. I was like, okay. And so then started managing Canton. And then I had put Shay Atkins on a couple of shows too. And Shay called me. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm managing Canton. She's like, I need a manager too. I was like, well, okay, let me add you to my roster. I was like, and so then Edward Long called me, and he was doing a radio show with Dwan Coleon, and it was called The Good Life.
The Good Life.
And they needed a radio co-host. And so he was like, why don't you come on and co-host with us? I was just like, well, okay. He's like, and I need a manager too. I was like, well, okay then. I was like, all right, God, so this is the direction you're taking me in. And so then I had, you know, Big Ren, oh my God, Ifani,
Justin,
Sean Tate, Justin, and my roster was full, and we was doing things. We did a little tour, the Kings and Queens tour, and we would go around, you know, we rent a little 15 passenger van, and we hit the streets. And but here's the thing, they didn't know that I was still struggling with who I was and my confidence of, you know, of my identity. So what I thought I was going to do in managing them was connect them with all of my radio and record connects. But like I said earlier, when I wasn't in that power position of Radio 1, I couldn't get people on the phone.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt like I wasn't being the full-on manager that they needed me to be because I didn't have those connects anymore.
Yeah.
So I just walked away from it, and I was just like, y'all deserve better than me. And although we did do a lot, you know, and got a lot accomplished, I felt like I recognized that I wasn't able to get them where they needed to be. And so I walked away from that. And then, so in the process of still rebuilding myself, and I took a break, and then I met my ex-husband.
Interesting.
We're supposed to be an interview, guys. This is almost fun, like a couch session with
Look, I'm just talking. I was like, let me let y'all talk. I'm just over here talking.
This is fascinating.
It's great. It's great. It's good to listen.
People are hitting up the chat. People are texting me saying, I want to meet her. I want to meet her. So,
oh my gosh.
I don't know if you know how you're on one side of the camera, you know,
right?
But we're watching you tell an iconic story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would literally compare you to the P. Diddy of the Christian gospel world. The way you started and where you are today, and all the potential that you have going forward. I just got your new book. Got your new book, and you have just transformed your talents because you still work in radio. A lot of people, we haven't mentioned that you still work in radio, so you're still very influential in the media and music space, and you have so many artists that are gravitating to you because of who you are and the relationships that you've built over the years. Because every time I see a DM from you or think about DMing you, I always say, no, you know what? She was my mentor. I can't ask my mentor for this, that, and the other. And, you know, to be completely honest with you, we've talked several times that this show was based on the fact that we watched all the different relationships that you allowed us to create and how much access you gave us as Trackstarz. I don't know if you remember this, but we were at Praise in the Park and you put us on the bus with Darwin Hobbs and Darlene McCoy and Canton Jones. And I mean, we had so many artists that were saying, you know, shout out to Trackstarz, shout out to Trackstarz. And that was on our first our first air check. You know?
Oh, wow.
And it really propelled us and pushed us forward. And so we thank you for all the success that we've had, and how instrumental you were in just giving us access and giving us free will. Because Sean and I, when we met at Radio One, and decided to do Trackstarz, it was because of all the equipment and all the access and all the tools that we had at our disposal, because we had someone like you in our corner.
Oh, you know what, that means so much to me. And it's just like, I love to hear those type of stories. Like I forget a lot of the things that I've done. And like, to me, something that was so simple as just putting y'all on the bus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Putting you on a bus, I didn't think it would have such an impact.
Huge.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was just, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That truly is amazing.
Having people along the way to open doors for you just makes a world of difference. So we really appreciate you.
Yeah. I have a question real quick. You said earlier about being a program director, and I think people sometimes don't understand how radio works. Can you explain that to them? Like, what is the role of a program director and how that affects what we hear on radio?
Right. So the program director, he controls everything that you hear on the radio, from the music, the DJs, the promotions, the contesting, the everything that you hear, the little stingers that you hear, like Trackstarz, you know, the Christian Breakfast Club, like even the sound of the radio, that's programming. So radio has three major departments. That's programming, promotions, and sales, and all of them work in tandem to make the station run. So programming controls what you hear, the imaging, the music, how often you hear the music. You know, some people be like, I get tired of hearing the same songs. That's the program director. He's the one controlling, you know, how often you hear that song, when you hear that song. It's all a strategic plan of how they program the music on the station. And then you have promotions. Promotions controls all of the contesting, when you see the radio station out in the community, all of the events they plan, all of those. So promotions and programming work in tandem. And then you got the sales department. That's all of the commercials that you hear. And without sales, you have no radio station, because that's how the station makes the money. So a lot of people are like, I hate hearing these commercials, but if you didn't hear the commercials, there would be no radio station. So sales is very important, and all three work together to create the sound of the radio station, and to work with clients to incorporate them into the station to make it sound, you know, to make their promotions and their commercial sound fit the station so that it will be received by the audience. Yeah.
How does an independent artist get on the radar of a program director?
Okay, so most radio stations have what they call a music day. And on music day, they open up, and you can call the radio station and find out what day their music day is. And they'll let you come up and you'll meet with the music director, and they will listen to your song. They'll give you feedback. Now, I was music director at one time. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was a music director, and I would have to have music day with the independent artists, and I would take them into the production room. I would listen to their track, and some of them didn't like me because
how much time do you give them? Because I remember watching when Young Jock came in for his day.
Right.
I think it was like 25 seconds maybe, and it's like
because you could tell you could tell from the first 25 seconds, 30 seconds if that song is trash or if it's a hit. And so I would usually give them like a minute or two to play their best song that they were interested in getting on the radio, and then I would give feedback. I was just like, this sounds like you did it on a keyboard in your mama closet, and you need to go back. And you need to go back and put some more work into this. This is not radio ready. And if they like the song, then we have usually these contests that they call battlegrounds or where they put dig it or dish it, and or they'll put two songs against each other and people vote, and then I've seen a lot of songs make it from there onto the radio. So
Marsha, what years were you music director? Do you remember? Because I want to tell you about a story.
It had to be maybe 98 or 99, maybe, I think.
Because I remember being in a new music listening days used to happen in the conference room on our lunch breaks. And I remember getting an email like, hey, we got a label here that wants to showcase their new artists. And they brought food for everybody. If you'll just come listen, you can get a plate.
Yeah.
And I remember going in there and I met the artist and I shook her hand. I said, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And she shook my hand back and she said, my name is Sierra.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, didn't know who she was. And then next thing I know, she's at the Ryan Cameron's softball game singing her new single. And then she blows up from there. And there was so many stories of that.
Yeah, it's things like that we used to do. And I would be in charge of that as promotions director, organizing those, new music. The labels would do that all the time because when they had a new artist, they want to bring in and cater lunch or, or breakfast or whatever, so the artist could get some exposure and meet, the radio DJs. So there's multiple stories like that. Sierra,
was very smart. Yeah.
I have one last question, just real quick. Do you think we're ready as being a professional as you are and hearing music and stuff? Do you think Christian hip hop is ready for FM radio, like a station where people would listen to?
Yes, I do. And I tell you that I've thought that way ever since Kanye did Jesus Walks with me. And I was like, if that can blow up on the radio, people are ready to receive it. It just has to sound like what they are already listening to. It really comes down to the beat. Really, it really comes down to the track. And if it's bumping and if the flow is right and the hook is catchy, and you don't have to, I'll tell, when I was managing the gospel artists, it's like, you don't have to be preachy in your music. That's what's going to turn them off. Like, meet them where they are and put messages in your music that will resonate with them, but not preaching to them. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I was in Orlando one time and I did hear an all Christian hip hop radio station. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, I can't remember the name of it.
It's Why Hot.
Yeah. I was like, this is so dope. I was like, oh my God, like, yes. I call it conscious hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of Christian artists need to not, when you label yourself Christian, you won't make it to the mainstream radio. I mean, you'll make it on the gospel stations, but when you go to a program director of a major hip hop station and say, I'm a Christian rapper,
we know. We've been
we know firsthand.
We took a song there and they were like, I like this, but I see you trying to sneak that Jesus stuff in here. That's not gonna work. I was like, okay.
But Kanye can do it though.
Yeah.
The whole song is Jesus Walks with Me. Yeah. So it's proof that, the audience will receive it. It's just how you package it.
And that's why we started the show, because ever since we left Radio 1, we've been trying to prove that this has legs, like this can work. And I think over the years we finally proved that this works. The music got good enough, and thanks to Canton Jones and Lecrae, the production got good enough to where it can compete with what's out there.
Yeah, definitely. And Canton, when I started managing, like, Canton had some songs that was so fire. I was just like, oh my God, this needs to be Canton. He gets it. I'll just say that.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Canton totally gets it, and he's not preachy in some of his singles that people would receive it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's all in the packaging of how you do it. So I think it's needed. I'll say that. It's very much needed. So because right now, music is energy, and all you're hearing is gang, shoot 'em up. Ladies are becoming the new men with the thought culture, and it's affecting our youth. It's affecting our people. And when you listen to those types of lyrics all the time, and that's all you hear, guess what? That's going to be your mentality.
Yeah.
You know, some people don't take it as just entertainment, because music is energy. Music can make you feel happy, can make you feel sad, it can motivate you, it can make you happy. You know, it's energy. So when you keep putting that energy and it's broadcasted in the atmosphere, radio waves, you know, and you wonder why we have the issues that we have in our communities.
Right.
That's good.
So
not
Marsha,
blaming it on music, not blaming it on music, but it has something to do with it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So Marsha, you took your creativity and all of your radio and you put your pen to a pad and you wrote a book.
Right.
I Am Perfectly Me. Affirmations. Yes. I Am Perfectly Me. Affirmations from A to Z. Yes. And that's and the artwork on it is amazing. Who did your artwork?
Her name is Courtney Monday.
Okay. Wow. She
Courtney
did a great job.
Yes, she did a great job with the illustrations. So I've always done affirmations, you know. Okay. When I was at Radio 1, I saw the power that I had, like I was saying before, when I speak something or I claim something, or and even if I speak negatively on something, it manifested in my life. And so I've always done affirmations. And when I left Radio 1, affirmations became a big part of me rebuilding myself and affirming myself. And then when I got married, I would do affirmations for our family. We would do, and I would set it to music and record it. So in the morning, we'd have upbeat affirmations, and I would set our affirmations for the year. And it would be like to an instrumental of All I Do Is Win. Okay. And we would do our affirmation. And then at night, I would record them to like a meditation instrumental. And we would go to sleep at it, and I would just let it play all night. So we subliminally was getting the affirmations. We was claiming things for our family, you know, every year. And so when the boys were born, I decided that I was going to get them started doing affirmations from an early age. Because, you know, when you're young, your parents affirm you, you're awesome, you're great, you're so handsome or beautiful, you're smart, you're talented. But, you know, kids can be cruel, and they can get all kind of other negative words spoken over them from school. You're not this, you're ugly, you're fat, your shoes, you know, kids can be mean. You know what I mean? And I didn't want my kids to ever listen to the words of other people, you know, speaking over them. I wanted them to speak over themselves and believe in themselves. So I decided to, you know, get them started with affirmations early, and I would put it in their prayers. So we would say, God, because you are, I am. So I would start saying, I am smart, and they repeat after me. I am kind, I am loving, I am healthy, I am intelligent, I am brave. And then eventually I stopped telling them what to say, and they started doing their own affirmations. So I was like, okay, they get it. And I realized that they really got it when my smallest son, Wesley, my youngest son, I said, what are you? He's like, I'm a little G. I was like, hold on. I said, oh, wait, I had to back out. Like, hold on, wait a minute, partner. We are not gangsters over here. So he was like, no, mama. He said, I'm a little G, and God is the big G.
Oh,
I was like, wow, he really gets it. Yeah. So I had the idea to do the book years ago, and I just sat on it. I was like, well, you know, I believe that I've never heard of kids doing affirmations. Yeah. You know, it's always, I've heard it from an adult perspective, but I've seen, like, you know, little videos of this little girl who was in the mirror, you know, speaking to herself. And I was like, I saw that years ago, but I've never really seen people focus on kids affirming themselves. So I thought this would be a great idea to do the book, but, you know, marriage, kids, work, all of that got in the way, and I never did anything with it. So when COVID hit, I figured this would be the perfect time to do it, because I noticed that my boys, even though they're very confident, their confidence started diminishing a little bit with that new virtual learning environment.
Oh, yeah.
Not feeling like they're smart enough, and then not really getting information. And so I had to keep affirming them. You can do it. You're great. You know, I was like, well, if they're experiencing this and they're pretty confident, how many other kids are feeling the same way? And I was looking at CNN not too long ago, and they're talking about all the mental health issues that are arising in kids and adults from being at home, you know, working virtually and not having the contact with other people, and how it's draining people mentally, and especially the youth. So I was like, oh, wow. Well, this book is right on time. So I decided to put it out and put it together. So
I'm excited about it. I can't wait to read it to my girls when it arrives. Tell us a little bit more about what your vision is for the book. Where do you hope to place it out?
Well,
what's the idea?
I would love to. Well, my vision when God gave it to me is that the book would go worldwide into other countries. So when you look at the book, my sons Willie and Wesley, they are the main characters. So that's Wesley right there, and that's Willie in the green shirt. They're the main characters in the book, and they talk about how affirmations help them to believe in themselves. And then if you look on the cover, you have kids of all nationalities, and ethnicities. So I wanted to make sure that every kid could see themselves in the book, you know, so Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Muslim, whoever, because all kids need affirming, you know. So and to believe in themselves, and you know, we need confident leaders of tomorrow. So my hope is that it will get into the schools. I really want to get it into children's hospitals, because those kids really need to believe in themselves, and you know, and speak over themselves, you know, in their healing while they're in the hospitals. I wanted to get it into the juvenile facilities, into foster cares, foster homes, to every child that I could possibly reach. I want to get this book in their hands.
Well,
so yeah.
Well, you know, you have our support, and whatever you need for us to do to help you, you know, get it out, we will definitely do that. And
Thank you.
You sent me a song. Talk about the song that you sent me, and the surprise that you guys are dropping next week.
So when I wrote the book, God gave me the idea to do a song to go with the book. Now, originally I was going to do it myself. But I was like, that is not my ministry. I am not a rapper. So, so I was like, okay, who could I get to record this song? So, you know who I called? Canton. So I called Canton and I said, bro, listen, I wrote this book. I'm going to send you a PDF of it. Look at it. I have an idea to do a song for it. He was like, oh man, that's dope. He's like, you know, my son Dominion is a rapper. I said, he is, and he's 12. I said, oh my goodness. He's like, that'd be perfect for Dominion to do it, because it's a kid's book. And so I gave them ideas. I sent them a PDF, and they came back. I sent them a track too, because Tico Hudson had done a track for me for it. And I sent them the track. And so about a week later, I checked in with him. He's like, I'm sending you the song tonight. I'm like, what? Like, they knocked it. He's like, they knocked, because, you know, Kenton has a studio in his home. So they went and knocked it out. And when I heard it, I was like, this embodies everything that I wanted the song to be. And guess what? Dominion did the track himself.
Wow.
And everything. He did the track, wrote it, and all the kids in the background repeating after him. That's Canton's whole tribe. That's all his kids. Like, I got a funny story about Canton, right? So when I was pregnant with my first son, Canton and Ramona had just had a baby, and I think it was maybe their second child or whatever. So I was, you know, I told him I was pregnant. He's like, girl, come over here and get this crib and this changing table and this chair, all this stuff, because we're not having any more babies. I was like, okay. I said, okay. So we went and look, Kenton gave me the crib, the changing tape, everything we needed for our first child. And then about 2 years later, Ramona popped up pregnant again. I said, hey, you need this crib?
Oh, yeah.
And look, and that was like 2 or 3 babies later. I was like, Ramona, I thought you wouldn't have no more babies.
How many did they have all together?
I think 5.
Yeah,
I think it was like 4 or 5. Is it 4? Yeah, but this was like after Dominion was born. She's like, we're not having any more babies. Come get all this baby stuff. I was like, okay. So I'm excited about the song. So we're shooting a video for it soon.
Well, make sure we get the video as soon as it's done, so we can pop it into the show and put it up on our YouTube page.
Yes,
Tell everybody how they can find you on social media, how they can follow you, and how they can get the book.
Okay, so they can get the book at shopiamperfectlyme.com, or just go to Amazon, put in I Am Perfectly Me or my name, and it'll pop up. And you can follow me on Instagram at I Am Marsha Meadows and at Shop I Am Perfectly Me.
Mm-hmm. Well, Marsha, we appreciate your time. We're going to go ahead and prophesy that I can see this turning into a cartoon one day for you. So I really hope
somebody said that. Yay.
Yeah. Oh, good. So we hope that it just does everything that God wanted it to do when he gave it to you. But we appreciate your time. Like I said, there's so many people that have said something in the chat or have either texted me that they want to meet you. So we have to arrange something. When our studio opens back up, we would love to have you come back to our studio.
Yeah.
I would definitely do that. I love it. I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yes.
All right.
Let's get back into it. You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tan, and DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
You in the field with the track stars, running with the track stars, tracking with the track stars in the Trackstarz Universe. Ooh. Stay on track with us.
Jesus is good, dude. I can testify.
Quite like this, comfortable in his Christ-likeness, flip like a light switch, with rhyme sharp as an ice pick, Holy Spirit shaking my arm as I write this, anointing dripping off my aura, 30%, I always leave a nice tip, homie, I'm a nice kid, nice with the rhyme scheme, blind in the competition like some high beams, you know what I mean? Homie, the clown status, you played yourself. Trophies when you pass, you can't take the shelf. You better tame before you play yourself. Like Deontay Wilder and talk trash where you taking L's. Your catalog is a trash heap. You'd have to rap, produce, and direct film just to match me. And you're lazy, so you'll never outtask me. More money, but you'll never outclass me. You're so plastic, you could always outmask me. But in the afterlife is where the last laugh be. Yep, it's the truth, homie, believe it. Anything else and you've been duped, homie. You clearly need to listen to my album looped, homie. Then go take good notes on what to do, homie. Don't worry if I'm hood enough. Just be concerned if you're even good enough to speak my name, much less burn it up. We can't be the maker and your turn will come. Plus I heard down in hell that to turn it on. What you wanna stop us? What you wanna stop us? What you wanna stop us? What you wanna stop us?
Yo, so uncircumcised Philistine head looking trying. Get him, D! Every line that I quote is packed with the high dosage of a cure that can give the blind divine focus and make the eyes open. Reverse the psychosis with the shock that can revive the mind at high voltage. As they ingest the cure and accept the Lord. Pray on the threshing floor and connect with God. I know the devil and his demons will be angry and attack, but they can rest assured we'll be dressed for war. Just like the story of David and Goliath, there are giants in my way. But just like two boxers weighing in, right before they contend, we're facing off and I will slay them giants, cause God has given me what it takes to win. The devil's like a hungry lion that's been caged and then let loose. He's on the hunt and he wants to see Dayton's end. He wants to kill kill me before these lyrics escape the pen. Cause God is glorified and these rhymes can be traced to him. I do the matrix bend, dodging arrows Satan sends. My shield of faith won't dent, my armor isn't paper thin. This sword would cut through bone if it was waved at him. So tell the devil I am on my job but won't accept the wage of sin. He cannot hold my tongue, it's like a loaded gun, ready to pop off like Peter, boy I go ham. Noah's son, this for his chosen ones. Just know that the cobra's underneath the foot of Christ. So if we walk like him, we overcome. One.
Who said they gonna stop us? Him?
What you wanna stop us? Sure, buddy. What you wanna stop us? What you wanna stop us? What you wanna stop us?
Yo, thank you so much for checking this out. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. We appreciate all the love as always. And if you really want to show support, check out the Sent Ones web store. Cop yourself a dad hat. Cop yourself 5 panels. And make sure to get that golden era tee on lock, you dig? Handle that.
Y'all know what time it is. Ryan Righteous, DJ Jeremiah, Sean Tanner. Time it is. Y'all know what time it is. It's the field boys. You in the field, boy. It's the field boys. You in the field, boy. You tuned in and locked. Trackstarz. We beating on your block. Trackstarz, yeah. I'm repping the most high king like mama I made it. Trackstarz bringing the real, you love it or hate it. Line for line with the kingdom, the second of faded.
What's happening? This your man Brinson, God Chasers Entertainment. Buckle your seat belts for line. Vote Christian though.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Was good.
All right, this segment is sponsored by Paramount Plus. Make sure that you go to Paramount Plus, and there's a special link I want to give you. Now, Paramount Plus is an app that you can download. It's one of the best streaming apps out right now. I have it. I love it. I love all the different content that I can get from it. It's amazing. So make sure you go to ParamountPlus.qflm.net/Trackstarz and go ahead and sign up today. Get your streaming platform going so you can join in on all the great content. All right.
All right. That's good information, man. Please go do that. All right, man. It's line for line time. Let's get it going. We are just gonna get right into it, man. We're gonna do Rod Wave, who is really hot right now. He had a good album that he had an album that dropped, and it was it sold very well the first week versus BigBreeze. And this is gonna be a good one, man. It's gonna be a good one. All right, views and opinions of Trackstarz and Trackstarz Universe, not the views and opinions of the artists, label, producer, others. If you feel offended by this, please press stop now. If you're a person who listens to Christian artists, send your cup of tea, man. We understand. We got noteworthy topics and interviews. We got react videos you can check out. We're not copying any other battle format. We've been doing this since the 2000s. BigBreeze is not the Christian version of anybody. It's just a bit. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start off with Rod Wave first. Sneaky Links. Here we go.
They be all in our business, tell them they can leave us alone. These words so cold, babe, I know you know not to treat me wrong. She say before I teach you, baby, I will leave you alone. Everybody be cheating, but nobody won't be cheated on. Baby, grown, and I handle my business. Don't be stereotyping, won't finish till you get finished. See right after my show, baby, let me dive up in it. We spend a ticket at Lennox and go to New York for Christmas. She was singing that song, how it's so long.
All right, man, that was Sneaky Links by Rod Wave. This is BigBreeze, Old Ways. Here we go.
Want me go hard, I can't go back, I swear they just gotta be. I used to trap and get loaded, then drink on the hot seat. They want me fuck, want me go back to one of my old ways. I can't go back my old ways. I just took off the wrong way. I just do any shit. Lot of thoughts in my head. Took a dive in that water, I came back a surfer, now they looking scared. And they know they don't shine, but I'm still getting bread.
And I made me a
All right, that was Big Breeze, Old Ways versus Rod Wave, Sneaky Links. Who y'all going with?
I'm gonna go with song number 1.
Sneaky Links.
Yeah, I got Rod Wave as well.
I'm gonna go with Big Breeze. All right, let's see. It's pumping up.
All right, it's up to y'all. What y'all got? I see a lot of Big
Rod
Breeze.
Wave.
Yeah, me too.
I see the opposite.
Oh, word.
Nah, Rod's taking it.
What y'all got? What y'all
Damo's
got?
in the building. Shout out to you, sir.
All right, Damo, call it.
Rod Wave online.
Yeah.
All right, it's 3-1. Score. Rod Wave put up 1. All right. So we're gonna go to round 2. Here we go. This is Big Breeze, My Time. Here we go.
Had to stop saying can't. I go hard in the paint. Devil run or get shanked. Big, I know he my sissy. Got some bros that's some inmates. I was known as a meanest. Stuck them rats in them schemers. How you blow it, you trend. How you do it, you sin. Asking God, he forgive me. And they still trying to meme me. Cause they see that I'm winning. I'm up high, I can't feel it. I'm up high, I'm too weird.
All right, that was Big Breeze, My Time. This is Rod Wave calling. Here we go.
Broken down at the bottom, hard to believe in me. Never say forever if you gon' give up so easily. Scared to be alone, I left because you kept on leaving me. When I chased my dream, it seemed I saw what you couldn't see in me. I had one tear for you left, said you'd be here but you left. Deal with my pain all alone, walk through that rain by myself. I took my lick all alone, I ain't asking for help. I forever live on as the one you should've kept. Hearted, forever broken hearted. Sorry.
All right, that was Calling by Rod Wave versus My Time, Big Breeze. Who y'all going with?
I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm gonna go Rod Wave on that.
What pattern?
What's the pattern?
I think men in hip hop culture are cleaning up their music and women are not. I think it's getting. I think they're switching lanes.
I got Rod Wave. That was Ryan Righteous who said that.
Hey.
Not the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous.
Hey, that's like the third male line for line we've done where I can't tell the Christian artist from the secular artist. And whenever you put one of those Cardi B songs on, I know exactly who it is.
Wow. Okay, Jeremiah, what you got?
What did you say?
Rod Wave.
Okay. I'm going with Big Breeze again, man. I like Big Breeze.
Okay.
I like Big Breeze.
All right, what y'all got? It's up to you guys.
That is interesting, Rod Wave online. That is interesting you say that, Ryan. Like,
don't you see
really
it?
interesting. Yeah, because it seems like, I ain't gonna say all the guys, because some guys still ratchet, but it is interesting that a lot of the guys are, starting to come. Even when we talked about the Mooski video, it was kind of interesting. Yeah. All right, that is 3-1. Rod Wave put up 2 again. I'm gonna start off with Rod Wave this time. This is Believe Me. Let's go.
I'm on my way from Cali, me, myself, in my bungalow. Jigga, what's up with you? I'm about to bring you 500 more. Touchdown in the town, they tell me I got another show. Gotta go and get it, why they still with me? I was him in middle school, do you remember me? 14 with 1400 stuffed up in my jeans. I used to sweep the barbershop and kicking those with rings. I even worked the 9 to 5, but that just wasn't me. But before I go to zero, I do anything. So scared to go back broke that I can't even get no shit.
All right, that was Believe Me by Rod Wave. This is Champion by Big Breeze. Here we go.
I'ma keep it going even when I'm finna lose. I just had to slow it down. They don't know what's coming around. That was that lick. That was that lick. Now they wanna see me win. They don't wanna see me lose. I'm just trying to make it cool. I'm just trying to make it lose. I'm just trying to spread the glory every single chance that I get. I just wanna get it. I just wanna get it. I just wanna get it right.
All right, that was Big Breeze Champion versus Rod Wave. Believe Me. What y'all got?
We'll go Rod Wave, man. I think I'm starting to
see a pattern.
Yeah, starting to like him.
I'm gonna toss it.
I see a pattern too. Big Breeze was good. Champion. I like that record.
All right,
All right,
y'all
so it's
again.
1-1. It's up to y'all.
What y'all got? What y'all got? What y'all got? What y'all got? It's up to you guys. It's up to you guys. Call it, Damo.
Jesus,
Call
buddy,
it, call
guess
it, call it, call it.
Rod Wave online. Oh, man. All right. It's 3-0 going into round 4. All right. So here we go. We're going to start off with BigBreeze first. Selfish Love. Here we go.
Bankroll after bankroll, staying counting the receipts. I was trying to stay down, trying to get it all flowing like a river. If you're saying that you with me, then you with me, never go against the grain. I've been pouring out my cup, I'm just trying to loosen up all the pain. Touching cause got me feeling too strained. Turn me up and never turn me back down. You the one that never came back around. Double back and now they look at me now. Fell in love with my
All right, that was BigBreeze, Selfish Love. This is Rod Wave, Richer. Here we go.
Texas, we went triple platinum, moon and no nagging. Made it happen. Young and out that bottom, but he made it happen. I don't wanna make no friends, point me to my ends. Who he think he is in that brand new Benz? They should've knew I was coming. Just a little young and I knew I'd give me some money. Know I turn nothing to something. I look at your cousin, the youngest, he's million and right. And I promise to keep it 100, keep it 100. You see me grinding and hot, so you got to respect me.
All right, that was Richer by Rod Wave versus Selfish Love, BigBreeze. Who y'all going with?
I'm gonna go BigBreeze on that one.
Yeah, I like BigBreeze better.
All right,
that was the best one so far, I think.
I am going with. I don't want to use a toss, but I'll go with BigBreeze.
All right, that's a wrap.
It's a wrap, man. BigBreeze is on the board, man. Yeah, it was BigBreeze on the board, man. He won that 3-0. So he finally got on. What Robert didn't won online, but so it was 3-1. Sorry, but it's 1-3. BigBreeze right now. All right, so this is round 5. We're going with Rod Wave first. Street Runner. Here we go.
Sorry, I missed your call. I was on the jet. I've been so zoned out, trying to figure out what's next. So scared to fail, I'm calculating my every step. Gotta watch my back and keep my scrap, but nonetheless, I think about you when I'm gone. Wishing I can hold you. Probably home, wishing someone come and love you how they supposed to. I hope you see this letter for it's too late. I hope chasing my dreams don't get in the way. I blame my struggles and my uncles for my hustling ways. I'm waiting in Michigan right now. Look at that real.
All right, that was Rod Wave with Street Runner. This is BigBreeze, No Cap Freestyle. Here we go.
I had to call a big guy, tell him that I need some funds. I told him I'm trying to win. He told me keep on just running. I was just sunning, got me hit on they sunny. I ain't weak, none that fronting. I just gotta keep on coming. Yeah, keep it just going, just keep it just flowing, just keep on just rolling like yeah. Know it's my time, so I gotta keep going. I gotta keep staying on my grind. Yeah, I won't just stop it, I gotta keep going. I like it up, watch I go wrong. Yeah, I was sick of my time.
All right, that was No Cap Freestyle by BigBreeze versus Rod Wave Street Runner. Who y'all going with?
I'm gonna go BigBreeze on that. I liked it better.
Yeah, I like BigBreeze better on this one too. Yeah, the last two Rod Waves I didn't like.
Yeah, there's only one Rod Wave song I'm waiting on.
You know Rod Wave? I've never.
I just know one song.
I've never heard his name before.
Yeah, he's got that Rags the Richest song that I heard a million times because of our upline in Forex. Played it like every day.
All right, I'm trying to figure out because right now it's 3-0. I guess it
don't matter.
Doesn't. Yeah, that's funny. All right, so BigBreeze puts up 2. BigBreeze online, so it's 3-2 going in round 6, right? So we're gonna start off with Rod Wave. It's called Tombstone. Here we go.
I keep my gun in my drawers, ducking the sad news. My phone say 7 missed calls, I know it's bad news. This life had left me so scarred, I'm knowing that's true. Remember time got so hard, I got it tattooed. So I ain't did no shows, but made some bread. I gotta keep the family fed. Look, just talk to Pops about the feds. I ain't gonna lie, he had me scared. I feel him coming. I'll keep on running. If we go down bad, keep it 100. My girl on them.
All right, that was Tombstone by Rod Wave. This is Yellow Moon by BigBreeze. Here we go.
And I was just had to go back on harder. Couldn't give up, feeling like on J Hardest. Hasn't you want took the risk, no charge and run it on time. I saw him my body. Give me strength and some options. I'm with you there regardless. So I'm giving you all this. Trying to make a way into the heaven hills. Back then they ain't wanna see the kid live. So I had to make a statement for the kids here. I ain't never backing down till they get here. Instead of resting is safe. Had to go do the race. He created an 8, no I'm back in the way. Ain't no.
All right, that was Yellow Moon by BigBreeze versus Tombstone by Rod Wave. Round 6. What we doing, fellas?
I'm a toss right there.
Toss it.
I'm a toss right there. Yeah.
I got Rod Wave.
Rod Wave. I am going to say Yellow Moon. BigBreeze.
All right, it's up to you guys. What y'all
It's
got?
really up to y'all. How y'all break this? How y'all gonna break this?
It's up to you.
Oh, BigBreeze online.
Wow.
That's a 3-3. We're going to round 7.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. Let's do it. All right, we're gonna remember on round 7 you cannot toss. You have to keep your joint. All right, so we're gonna start off with BigBreeze first. Chill. Here we go.
Ain't on no bicycle, I had to fight with him. Devil keep calling, point up to the sky at him. I'm with the gang and we not very talkative. Face out my choker, got chill like your poker, just burned out my shoulder. I know he want me to spread through the coach. Racing the heaven, just blew out the motor. Fred got the styling me, I'm walking colder. I'm only getting older, they say that I'm golden. My man's acting bogus just cause I was chosen. Didn't know you was phony. Got so many enemies, it's got it hard to please all of you rappers cause it ain't no chemistry. Heard they hating on me, energy, you opportunist guys.
All right, that was BigBreeze. Chill. This is Rod Wave, Pills and Bills. Here we go.
Who told you you was perfect? You should try and get a grip. If I told you I was perfect, I be lying like a don't want to show no knows to rap no songs. He tired of that. Fab and it by itself, hiding up. And the chef in a low key. He stressing like a and he's sliding up. Not only that, he hiding up. No live fast. Labor in their games, he a slave in their chain. They get champagne when it rain, they took his pain to the bank.
What were you saying earlier about the men are cleaner than?
Come on now. That's still not Cardi B level dirty.
All right, that's Pills and Bills.
He might have
I don't
used
know
some
what
F-bombs.
Brian got against Cardi B. I don't know.
Everything.
I pray to God that if we get on a station, people will be like, yo. So
can I
go
vote?
ahead.
All right. I'm gonna go Rod Wave. I like this delivery.
Your kid, bro.
I'm gonna go Rod Wave. I'm gonna go Rod Wave. I like this delivery on that.
I hated the Rod Wave song. I got BigBreeze on that one.
BigBreeze. I like BigBreeze.
I like BigBreeze.
That's what I thought of when you
That's what
said
it
that
sounded
too.
like.
All right, let's see what we got, man.
Guys.
I like BigBreeze and I get that line.
Yeah, that last one, he hit a run in that one that I liked a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So
Wow.
So
Two. Wash.
It's a wash. The whole thing is.
Have we ever had that happen?
Yeah,
it's a wash. So the final score is 3-3.
Wow.
Have we ever had that happen?
Yeah.
We never had that. Wow.
No, I don't think we have, Sean.
I think we have.
What was the artist?
I don't remember.
You don't know?
I remember that happening before.
That's crazy.
Dope.
But how did you guys like BigBreeze?
He's good. I don't know if I like that sound that he's doing, but he's good at it. So
what he was on Hovey's new album.
Yeah, I know he did good on that song. I'm just not a big fan of the
mumble rap.
No, it's not really the mumble rap sound. It's a specific
like
sound that he's
sound?
using. Yeah, it's a plugin. They're adding something to his voice. I don't really like it.
Yeah.
But he's doing it well. Like that sound of rappers, he's doing it well.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I think it probably has a lot to do with production too, because Rod Wave uses a lot of that as well, but I can still hear him clear.
Well, his is more upbeat.
Yeah.
Rod Wave is more of a bouncy, upbeat sound.
But the funny thing is, Rod Wave old stuff was like this though, like BigBreeze. Like his older like album or two ago was more him singing and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so I maybe his newest album is more like him trying to really rap, you know what I mean? But I remember hearing him stuff, and I was like, yo, this dude is like singing, rapping too. So, but
all right, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like and comment. All that stuff helps us out a lot. We've grown like 250 subscribers in the last 2 weeks, so appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the suggestions. We'll do more reaction videos soon. You're in the field with the Track Stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
I'm on the 17 up.
Had to stop saying can't. I go hard in the paint. Never run or get shanked. Big, I know he my sissy. Got some bros, that's some inmates. I was known as a menace. Stuck them rats in them skeeters. How you blow it, you trend. How you do it, you sin. Asking God, he forgive. And they still trying to mend me. Cause they see that I'm winning. I'm up high, I can't feel it. I'm up high, I'm too weird. Grab that Bible, my word. And that Dodge, I go screw. And he killing my kidneys. Begging trust, stop offending me. Trying to kill all my family. Treating her like some animals. Drink that fruit like a dynamo. 2020 been radical. But my face staying at it. Savage, they turn me up. He about to turn me up. He about to turn me up. He about to turn me up. Hey, turn me up. He about to turn me up. He about to turn me up. He about to turn me up. Hey, turn me up. Hey, turn me up. Hey, turn me up. Hey, turn me up. He about to turn me up. Hey, turn me up. Hey, turn me up. Hey, turn me up. He about to turn me up.
Now, I'm in the field with Trackstarz right now. I had a blessed time. Hopefully, you guys are listening. If you're not, then you're losing.